And two things before I start the presentation. The first thing is it's a huge presentation, about 60 slides, and I was given just 30 minutes to cover this, so I'll try my best to wrap this up and rush through a few slides. And the second thing is, I think I'm facing such a big crowd live for the first time, so bear with me if I choke and fall down here, because I will take over.
You can do it.
Now you only have 15 minutes.
Brenda, Jane, Amit, can you hear us? Can you see the deck?
Yeah.
All right. So the first slide. Sorry. All right. So the first slide is about Indian flag. That's the Indian flag with saffron, white, and green color. The second line in there, which says "Mera Bharat Mahan," it's in Indian language, which is Hindi, which is the official language of India. So we got independence on the 15th of August in 1947. So this is our 70th Independence Day. Yet we are one of the leading nations in the world in terms of economy. We have the GDP of about 7.5% as of 2016. We are the IT superpower, one of the leading countries which dominate in IT. We are one of the most powerful nations in the world in terms of military. We have nuclear weapons. And all this happened just in 70 years. We are just 70 years old. So we got independence from the British Empire. We were ruled from 1858 to 1947. That's when the actual British era was. Even though the British started coming to India in the 16th century, the actual rule was from 1858 to 1947. So the beauty of our independence is that we attained it through non-violence. Not even a single bullet was fired, not even a single death. Even though a lot of people lost their lives in the process of getting independence, the actual independence was attained via non-violence. No war, no fighting. And the independence movement was led by Indian National Congress, which is also one of the leading political parties in India. And they've ruled India for about more than 45, I think 49 something years, in the 70 years of we've been free. So after the independence, India and Pakistan got divided. Now they had their independence day on the 14th of August, which was yesterday. We have it today on 15th of August. And then 3.3 years later was when our constitution was formed. And that is when we celebrate the Republic Day on the 26th of January every year. One second, please. The last question. Alright, so this is how India looks on the globe, on the map, and we have about 29 states and 7 union territories. And this part is Arabian Sea, and that part is Bay of Bengal. And so one interesting fact about this is that most of the people who work in US in IT are from these 5 states at the bottom. I don't know why, but mostly South Indians are in IT. We have people from North India. We have people from North India as well.
We've lost the sharing. We lost the sharing.
I'm not sharing.
Yeah, we lost the sharing.
Okay. You see now? Okay, can you see now, Muthu?
Yeah, I can see now.
All right, so like I said, majority of them, more than 80 to 85% of them are from these 5 states at the bottom, South India. And one more thing is that this wasn't intentional. This is called Charminar, and this is in the city of Hyderabad, which is where I'm from. So I noticed it after I downloaded it. It wasn't intentional. Next one. Okay. So this is how the flag of India looks like. Like I said, we have 3 colors and a wheel on the flag. The saffron color represents sacrifice and courage. White is for purity and peace and truth. And green is for fertility and faith. And that chakra, the wheel in the middle, it's called as Ashoka chakra. It has 24 spokes, and each spoke represents a value. So if you want to read about it, you can do it at your leisure time. You do not really have time to discuss about it, but it's interesting. If you get a chance, please go ahead and look up, take a look at those information about those 24 spokes. Okay, so this slide is no information. Is actually my picture when I was in India, me running with the flag. No, I was kidding. Actually, this is I found this yesterday on Facebook, so I thought it's interesting. I just uploaded it. So we have a 5-year-old civilization. The name India comes from Indus River. Like I said, we have 29 states and 7 union territories. We have the total area of 1.27 million square miles, and which is about, I think, 1/3 of the total size of United States. Yet we just have one single time zone because the area is long from north to south. So even though it's 1/3 of US, we just follow one time zone in India. The population is 1.25 billion. This was as of 2003, and we are still the second most populated country in the world after China, and we are proud of it.
Naman,
Yeah.
Naman, sorry to interrupt. We lost the presentation again.
You're gonna lose it every time you go from slide to slide.
It's not my fault.
Naman, you're doing on purpose now?
No, it's not my fault. Prasanna is doing the.
Yeah, we lost it like right after you got it back online. So I'm wondering, can somebody that's in the room with you kind of keep a watch on the IM?
We'll just send the slide deck, maybe, if we can't send it right now, we'll send it out afterwards. We apologize, but we have limited time in this room, so.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Moving on. So, because we were ruled by British for so long, we still have British influence in our architecture, in the education system, in transportation and politics. And we have a couple of slides at the bottom to talk more about it, about how British have influenced us in everything, pretty much everything. Okay, so we have a parliamentary form of government. We are a secular democratic constitution, and we are the largest democracy in the world. We are the 4th largest economy, like I said, and we are the fastest growing IT superpower. And that's why probably everyone is here. Indian Railways, it's the 8th biggest employer in the world. It is one of the largest railway networks comprising of 115,000 kilometers, 71,000 miles of track. So the earliest cotton in the world was spun and woven in India. We have the largest postal network in the world with 150,000 post offices. The Bollywood, pretty much I think everyone knows about Bollywood. It's the world's largest movie industry in terms of production, the number of movies that they produce in a year, calendar year. So for most people, India is Bollywood, Bollywood is India. You see a couple of Indian movies, you know how Indian culture, what Indian culture is about. So the 3rd largest road network is India at 1.9 million miles, and like I said, we have the 2nd largest rail network. We have 6 seasons. We have summer, autumn, winter, spring, summer, monsoon, and winter monsoon. And we have another slide about weather at the bottom. So we are the largest milk producing country in the world right now. Alright, about languages, this is interesting. We have 23 official languages. Hindi is the most prominent language. It's not a national language though. And Hindi and English are the only 2 languages that are permitted in Constitution of India for business and parliament. The good news is you know English, you understand what's going on in our parliament. So we have 122 major languages and 1599 dialects. So when I showed you the map of India, and like I said, we have 29 states, majority of Indians know the language from that state. We understand and we talk the official language, which is Hindi. So 2 languages by default, majority of Indians speak, and the 3rd language is English. So a big percentage of Indians can speak at least 3 languages. Not just speak, write, and read. History. So Indian history goes back to 3200 BC when Hinduism was first founded. So right now we have Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Judaism, and Zoroastrianism all existing within the country peacefully. So a little bit of history on education. The first university of the world was in Takshashila. It was back in 700 BC. So this was like the IIT and MIT of the world at that time. There were about 68 subjects taught in the university, all those subjects there. And there were about 10,500 students enrolled at the time back then. And a graduate from that university was well sought after scholar in the whole Asia, South Asia region. So the Ayurveda, earliest school of medicine known to humans was in India. And we have a very interesting slide again about Ayurveda at the bottom. So yoga, needless to say about this is our product. And this was originated back in 5000 BC. This was documented by Patanjali between 2000 and 380, 2000 BC and 380. And it is determined as a complementary intervention for cancer, infertility, asthma, and heart disease. So these are the four that I thought I'd put here, but there are many more diseases. I know of migraine as well. So this particular form of martial arts, Kalari Payat, originated from a state in India, Kerala. This was back in 2200 BC, and this particular martial arts was widely used in all the wars at that time. So it's not Chinese, it's us. Okay, now this guy is our national animal, Royal Bengal tiger, and this is the only species of tiger in the world which is not endangered. I think there are about 4,000 something tigers in the world of this species left. This is the national bird, peacock. This is the national flower, lotus, and this is considered as sacred in Buddhism and Hinduism as well. And this is also the symbol of current ruling party in India, lotus. So the great Indian personalities. This is the father of the nation. His name is Mahatma Gandhi. He led the non-violence movement that got us independence from the British, and he was assassinated in 1948, a few months after the independence. And this is a pretty famous guy because you see his picture on all the currencies, Indian currencies. So you find a piece of paper with his picture, don't throw it away. It's our currency. Aryabhatta, this guy invented the zero. And he is the great Indian mathematician who proved 3,542 theorems. Rabindranath Tagore, he won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. He won the Nobel Laureate in Physics. Okay, that's all right. Okay, so this lady, her name is Mother Teresa. She has done a lot of good work. She won a Nobel Prize in 1979 in Peace. He won a Nobel Laureate in Medicine in 1968, Hargobind Khurana. This guy won a Nobel Prize in Physics in 1983. Okay, so what we were trying to say with those slides is we have a lot of people in India who have won Nobel Prizes in a lot of fields. So the current popular Indians who are still alive, this guy is huge. His name is Amitabh Bachchan. He's one of the most influential Indian actor of all the time. So he is like Robert De Niro plus Morgan Freeman of India. And he's big, he's huge since 1970s, and he still acts in movies. And one more thing, he is also the father-in-law of Aishwarya Rai, who was considered as the most beautiful woman of the world for way too many years, maybe 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, I think a lot of people know this guy. He started acting in Hollywood movies lately. He was seen in Spider-Man, Life of Pi, recently Jurassic Park. He is one of the finest actors in Indian cinema. He is known for his versatile and natural action. Muthu, are you still able to see the screen? Alright. Priyanka Chopra. She is one of the highest paid actresses in Bollywood, and she was the Miss World in 2000. And she has become popular in US for the last few days. She started acting in a TV series, Quantico, and she also featured in a song with Pitbull. She sang it actually. So this guy, and him and I share the last name, by the way. He is the king of Bollywood. He is known as the king of Bollywood. He is featured in more than 80 films. He's gained a number of Bollywood accolades. And in 2008, he was branded as one of the most influential people in the world. This guy is called the god of cricket. His name is Sachin Tendulkar. He is considered as the greatest cricketer of all the time. If you know what cricket is, it's similar to baseball. So the the famous people of Indian origin in USA currently. So the first three guys are CEOs of top companies. You probably have seen their name in the news. The fourth guy is the owner and the founder of Khan Academy. There are a lot of free videos on YouTube about him giving lectures on various subjects. Calvin is a famous actor from Kumar and Harold. He's a Kumar guy. And then we have two NASA astronauts. We have a person in politics as well, South Carolina governor. And so this is not the complete list actually. This is the highlights, the very important people is what I think. And there are other people as well. Ex-Louisiana governor, Bobby Jindal, he's from Indian origin as well. So the festivals, we have about 65 festivals every year. So the good news is we get at least 25 to 30 holidays a year. That's the best part of working in India. So you have at least two holidays every month. That's one good part. The second thing is, people from other caste, creed, religion, background, they join you in celebrating your festival. So this is the time, the festival is the time when people from every background get together and they become one family. And trust me, there is nothing like celebrating a festival, Indian festival in India. Okay, so Taj Mahal, this is, I think this is still one of the 7 wonders of the world. This was built by Shah Jahan back in 16th century. He built it for his wife. It took, I guess, 22 years for him to build this. This is the richest temple in the world. It's called Tirumala Tirupati. This is again from the place where we live, Andhra. So this church is a very famous church. The statue of Virgin Mary was brought from Portugal in 1953 and it's still in this church. This is the Golden Temple, it's made of gold. This is the biggest mosque in India, it's in New Delhi. So this is a 1,000-pillar temple, it literally has 1,000 pillars. This is the gateway of India. This is the place it's called Yantar Mantar. This was built back in 1716. This is a structure to observe the movement of stars. So this is Mysore Palace. This is in Mysore. It is illuminated by 97,000 light bulbs even now. This is Buddha statue. This is the largest monolithic statue in Asia. This lake is in Kashmir. It's called the Crown of Kashmir. It's very beautiful. So this is the wettest place on earth. It's Cherrapunji. Okay, now I'm going to take some time on this slide. Indian weddings. Now the picture you see in the background is just a glimpse of how colorful Indian weddings are. I read it somewhere. It says 10 million, somewhere it's 12, somewhere it's 15. But on an average, there are about 10 million weddings a year in India. So every wedding, irrespective of how rich or how poor the guy or the girl is, it's a big fat wedding. I haven't seen a wedding of 100 people. The minimum is, there are probably weddings of 100 people, but the weddings I've seen, the minimum were 1,000 to 3,000 people. That's the average, between 1,000 and 3,000 people in the wedding. So a wedding is a big deal, not just for the groom and bride, but for everyone related to them. The parents, the uncles, the aunts, the first, third, second, third cousins, the neighbors, everyone you know even remotely. Your wedding is a big deal for them. So the way it works in India is, you finish your studies, you start working. The only question people have for you is, when are you getting married? It's for the guys. I face that. And the wedding lasts for several days. So it differs based on the culture. So in a lot of cultures, you have at least 2 ceremonies before the actual wedding. Then you have a wedding, you have a reception. Then you have 3 to 5 more ceremonies after the wedding. So in this course of time, which is at least 2 months, at least 1 to 2 months, you are called a groom. You're called Mr. Groom. You're not addressed by your name. We have a lot of traditions in this course of time. We have something called Mehndi, the henna that they put on the bride's hand. We have something called Vidai. Vidai is the sending off of the girl by the parents of the girl to her in-laws' house. And it's a lot of gold. Believe me, it's a lot of gold involved in the wedding. And I know one person in this group who is getting married next month. And I heard he's buying gold worth $50,000 for his wedding. The Barat or the groom's procession. This is a big deal as well. The Barat is the group that goes to the girl's house to bring the girl back on the wedding day. And mostly the groom goes on a horse or an elephant, a decorated elephant, or a decorated car, decorated with flowers and whatnot. Okay, Indian cuisine. It reflects 8,000-year history. The staple food is rice, whole wheat flour bread, kind of bread, and a variety of lentils. I do not have a picture of lentils in here, but these two pictures, the spices, these are mostly spices that most of the Indians use in their everyday food. This is just how much? Less than 1% of what overall spices we have. So the 70% of the world's spices, they come from India, and the crystallization and making of sugar from sugarcane juice began in India. So this is the map of India. You see every place, every state, every city has its own unique cuisine. So Indians don't just eat curry. We have a lot of many more dishes, you see. And the interesting thing is none of it overlaps. Every place has its own dish, own cuisine. Okay, now this is what I was talking about when I spoke about Ayurveda. Natural remedies or cures in India. So when we get sick, it's a minor problem. We do not really go to a doctor, a PCP or a specialist. Most of the minor problems are solved in the home. So this is again a very small list of what we usually do when we get sick. And this is the most common problems that we have. So the first one is vomiting. When we have a vomiting problem, we take powdered coriander seeds in the water, cold water. And the same thing with stomachache, we take powdered cumin seeds. And then if the hair are gray, for the coloring of hair, we do not use laurel or garnier or whatnot. We use dried henna leaf. It's also good for the hair, the growth of hair. We use mango tree gum for cracked heels. We use ginger with honey for cold. We use heartwood and piper beetle for bleeding gums. And we use turmeric powder for minor cuts. And we also use turmeric powder for cold and cough sometimes in milk. So it's not that we do not have doctors. We still believe in Ayurveda, and trust me, it works. And also, we're going to send this presentation after this whole event, and do not mark my words and start using them. I'm not responsible if something goes wrong. And then for any of these, Indian culture, respect for elders forms a major component in Indian culture. So in a lot of places in India, we still touch the feet of elders, and that's like respecting them. The guests are treated as God and are well taken care of, even if they are not the part of the family. So you go to an Indian family, you feel like a god. Family gathers for dinners, traditionally meals are eaten while seated, either on the floor or with little stools or cushions. So, food is most often eaten with the right hand rather than the cutlery. So it's a culture. It's a cultural thing. You do not really use the cutlery. All right, the interesting thing, and this is not from internet or anything. Most of it is what I faced, and a couple of our team members faced this. The myths about Indians that non-Indians have. The first thing is India is full of slums and poverty. And I really do not blame the common people for this, because this is what they show in Hollywood movies. I don't know how the Hollywood directors and actors land up only in the slum areas of India. And they just show the poverty and slum parts of India. It's not true. India is not full of slums.